This wasn't supposed to be my first video of the year, but you know what? My external hard drive had other plans. I wasn't nervous, and then I pressed record. Hey guys, what's up and welcome to my channel, and I guess since this is my first video of the year, Happy New Year. If you're new here or you missed my community post, which I'm sure a lot of you did, the first video I posted this year was supposed to come out on February 1st. I basically worked all of January on this video. It was so much fun to film, but it was also a ton of work. And I was completely done with the video. It was 99% loaded on YouTube, and basically what happened is my external hard drive with all the footage and the video crashed and I lost everything. Had my external hard drive crashed 30 seconds later, that video would be out on YouTube right now. Good times with technology. So now that external hard drive is in the hands of hopefully some very smart people that can recover all of that footage and they can get it back to me. But in the meantime, let's move on to my project for this week. So I knew I wanted to tackle this project sooner rather than later because, guys, I have to admit something. I no longer like filming in my studio. I don't like filming in there. I absolutely love my studio, do not get me wrong. And I happen to absolutely love this black and white abstract wall I have in my studio. Now, some of you, I know you don't like it or don't get it, but I absolutely love this wall. But there is one thing I do not like about this black and white wall. I don't like it as my backdrop in my videos anymore. When you can see the whole studio, I think the black and white wall is really cool. But when I am filming in there, I am sitting at my desk and that's all you can see. You can't see the full effect of the whole room, and so I do not like it as my backdrop in my videos anymore. I don't think it makes sense anymore as my backdrop because it doesn't really reflect my style. So this week I am working on changing the backdrop for my videos so that I love filming in my studio again. So I'm gonna head in there and give you guys the full rundown of what I'm looking at doing. Welcome to my studio. Now, this view that you guys have right here, I love this view. This is like why I love this black and white wall. But again, when I'm filming in here, this isn't the view you see. The reason I am only focusing on changing this wall this week is because I am learning a new skill. I am going to be wallpapering for the first time. I'm so nervous. And if you've been a subscriber for a while, you might be thinking, Miley, I have most definitely seen you wallpaper other rooms in your house. Yeah, all of those other times was peel and stick wallpaper. Completely different process, way more forgiving. And not only am I wallpapering for the first time, I am not doing a patterned wallpaper, I am doing a mural, which is even less forgiving than had I gone with a patterned option. And when I decided I wanted to change my background, I wasn't sure which option I was gonna go with. I tossed around probably like 10 different options. But when I plugged the option I went with into my 3D rendering program, it was a no-brainer. It definitely fit the room. It's such a pretty backdrop. It's still really interesting, but it also fits the vintage vibe of this room, but it also fits the woodsy vibe of my house. And not only did I decide this was the best option, all of my Patreon members also decided this was the best option. And speaking of Patreon, I am just going to quickly and shamelessly plug my Patreon. I just made some big changes to my Patreon. It is now significantly cheaper to be a member over on my Patreon. So if you like what I'm doing here, if you like my content and you want to support me, I will put a link in the description down below. So my plan for today is to, one, learn the process of wallpapering. I basically know what to do, but I just need to refresh my memory so that I have a solid game plan going into tomorrow. I also need to go get all of the supplies to wallpaper, and then I also want to get this room prepped and ready to go so that I can just like basically wake up and get started with the wallpapering process. So I think what I'm gonna do first is get the supplies that I need for this project, and then come back here and do all of the prep work that I need to do here. That's the plan. Let's do it. Okay guys, I just got to Lowe's and I brought my instructions with me because at the top right here, it says what I need to do this project. I need a tape measure. I have that. I have several. I need a foam paint roller. I don't know what size foam paint roller I need. I do have some at home, but they're kind of small, so I might have to get a different kind. I need a scraper. Don't got that. I need a brush. I don't know what kind of brush I need, but I'm guessing there's like a special wallpaper brush. Maybe not. And then I need a craft knife and then heavy duty wall covering adhesive. So I'm gonna go get all of that and then we can head home and I can learn how to wallpaper. Okay, I'm just looking up where this brush is. It is a different brush, but it's not by all of the other brushes. So if it loads any second now, I can go grab that, and that will be the final thing I need. Okay guys, I'm back from the store. I have everything I need to do this wallpapering project. What I'm gonna do for the rest of the day, I'm gonna clear out this space. This thing is very heavy, so it's gonna take me a while to get it cleared out. And then after everything is cleared out, I'm just gonna spend the rest of the day familiarizing myself with this process, and not only just the process of wallpapering, but I'm gonna see if I can find specific instructions on a mural, or if there's any tips and tricks on specifically wallpapering a mural. So I'm gonna do all of that, and I'll see you guys in the morning. I wasn't nervous, and then I pressed record, and then I had like a little like, ooh, I'm doing it, I'm wallpapering. Okay, I think it's gonna be fine. I feel confident in this process. I watched 2 hours worth of different wallpapering videos from professional wallpaper people. I think I feel confident. The only thing that's kind of slightly making me a little scared about this process is the fact that the mural I got is the exact height and width of my wall. If you can hear my cat playing with a plastic bag, thank you, Clyde. But yeah, my mural is the exact height and width of my wall. There were different sizes of this mural, but the next size up was so big that it cut off a lot of the parts I love about this mural, so I had to go with the one that was the exact size. But that being said, I have no room for error. Also, this morning I ran and got a few more tools that I realized I needed to have a successful wallpaper installation that were not on my instructions. But I will mention those when I get to that point. So the first thing I need to do is prep this wall, and by prepping it, I just need to go through, make sure that any imperfections are sanded down, wipe it down, and wipe down the baseboards and the crown molding and all of that stuff. For the most part, this wall is already smooth because I sanded and smoothed everything out when I painted it originally, so this shouldn't take that long, but I'm gonna do all of that, and then we can move on to actually getting this first panel installed. Wallpaper, level, painter's tape, measuring tape. I think I am good to get started. Yes, I am. Okay guys, so before I can get this first panel up on the wall, what I have to do is find my plumb line. Basically what a plumb line is a drawn out line on your wall that you know is perfectly level and straight. Yeah. And a lot of you might think that to find your plumb line, you can measure from the corner at the top, middle, and bottom, and then just connect the dots. You can't, because in most cases, your corners and your walls are not straight. So what you need to do is measure out from your corner, find a dot, find that spot, and then use a level, a large level. This is one of the tools that I had to go get this morning because I do have levels, but I don't have any like extra long levels to make a plumb line. You can also use a laser level. I don't have a laser level, so I just went with this option. Once I find my line and I draw it out, because I'm working with this like crazy pattern, also, I am going to be taking some painter's tape and using painter's tape along that plumb line so that when I hang up my first panel, I am not questioning where this line is. I know exactly where it is because it's green. Let me figure out my plumb line and then we can get the first panel installed. First things first, I have to measure my wallpaper. 20 and an eighth. 20 and an eighth. Right there, that is level. This is 3 out of 7, 2 out of 7, 1 out of 7. I think this is my first piece. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be beautiful. Okay guys, I am doing my first section right here. I've got glue, I've got a roller. If you were doing an entire room, I definitely would recommend a larger roller, but I am just using this because I had it and I'm also only doing one wall. So I feel like this small little foam roller is perfectly fine. And they definitely said to use a generous amount of glue. So I am gonna make sure this thing is very covered in glue. When I was watching videos, I saw a whole bunch of people that recommended putting the glue on the wall. I saw people recommend putting the glue on the paper. And then I saw people recommending putting glue on both the wall and the paper. I am just gonna be putting the glue on the wall because a lot of people said that this is the easier, less messy version. And that, yeah, they just find that it's easier to just put it directly on the wall. Now that I've rolled a good amount of this glue, I'm also gonna take this brush I got and make sure that I'm getting a good coating at the top, corners, and bottom. Because they said it's very important to make sure you have a good amount of glue at those spots, because that's where the wallpaper can lift. She is coated and I am ready for my first panel. I'm nervous. Just need to get this on this line. I am butting this right up against this painter's tape. Okay, I'm happy with how this looks, even though this is coming off. I'm gonna remove this tape so that it doesn't get in the way. Today, I also went and grabbed a big sponge that I can use to wipe glue off the front of the wallpaper, and then I have my scraper that I got yesterday. My first panel is all smoothed out, and the last thing that I have to do is cut off this bottom half. And everybody said or recommended using a straight edge with your knife, because then you know you're getting a straight cut, you're not doing it freehand. And also, if you don't use a straight edge, you can also potentially like slip and cut your wallpaper. Now I can smooth out this bottom because it's cut. Okay, first panel is done. Now comes the fun part of matching up the next piece. Okay, I'm getting more adhesive down for the second panel. I'm definitely nervous for the second panel because I of course have to match it up, but I'm also working with an outlet, which can always be just a little tricky. I can do this. This is tricky. I can't really fully tell if that's lined up in the right spot. There we go. Okay, that looks, yeah, that's right. Okay. You really can just like push it up against this line. This is perfectly lined up right there. I can't get this bottom section flat until I cut the hole for the outlet. So, I need to figure out where this outlet is. Okay, the final thing that I picked up this morning is a seam roller so that I get a nice flat look between the two pieces. That is level, we're still good. I just, for some reason, wanted to double check that. Okay guys, my second panel is up. The seam is perfect. I don't know how I did that. I don't think I've ever done that good of a job matching up seams. You can't even tell. It's incredible. Like, where is that seam? I don't know. So, basically, I'm just gonna rinse and repeat the process and do like the next few panels. If anything pops up, I will let you guys know. Why is this falling? Stay. Just, guys, I don't know why, but this piece is like not cooperating. It's like not staying up and I have absolutely no idea why. Okay, oh my gosh, it is staying. Don't you. Two pieces left. Oh, I think I need some water. Okay guys, I have one final piece to go and I just got the best news that my data can be recovered, so I feel like I got a little pep in my step for this last piece. So I have to work around another outlet, and this time around I also went ahead and put glue on the entire back of the piece of wallpaper, and then I'm of course gonna put glue on the wall because for some reason these last few pieces are not staying attached. So I'm gonna see if this makes a difference. Who knows? Come on, buddy. Stick with me. Don't fall for me, wallpaper. It's actually a little long, which is good because I thought it was gonna maybe not make it all the way across. So I'm gonna cut this corner so it starts laying flat. And done. Good morning, guys. I just have a few things to do to finish up this project and then I can put my studio back together again. And I already went ahead and did a little bit of work that I'm waiting to dry, but I'm about to share with you guys a tip that I did not see in any other video when it came to wallpapering. This is a specific tip if you are doing a mural. If you're doing a patterned wallpaper, this won't really matter. But if you are trying a mural, there is one tip I will give you. So if I could go back, the first piece of wallpaper that I put up, I wish I cut off the top inch of wallpaper and started an inch up. Basically what happened is I didn't do that and there was 2 inches at the bottom. And basically what I'm trying to say is I wish I split these 2 inches between the top and the bottom so that if your ceiling or your wall or your floor curve up or down, you have an inch at the top or bottom to curve up or down with it. Because I didn't do that, when I got to the 4th piece, my ceiling curved up about a 1/2 inch and then there was a 1/2 inch gap from the 4th piece on, which was very annoying. So all last night I was thinking about how I would cover up that gap and I just decided to do the most simple option, which is take some caulk and fill in that gap, and then I try to carry it across evenly so that it looks like it's an even split, I guess, between the crown molding and this wallpaper. So I am waiting for that to dry. I also took some caulk and I put it in the corners to cover up any gaps and where there might be like a little bit of black paint from the wall showing. So that is all cleaned up and I'm waiting for that to dry. While I wait for that to dry, I am going to try this out. This might look stupid, but I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm gonna take my old outlet covers, use some double-sided tape with some of this extra wallpaper that I have and cover up my outlet covers to see if I can give them a more like seamless look on the wall. If this looks stupid, I'll probably just get some fresh new like white outlet covers, but I'm gonna at least try to see if this looks cool. So I'm gonna get to work. Not perfect, but I think that looks pretty good. Okay guys, I have one final thing to get done to complete this project and then I can put my studio back together again. So I explained this in, I think, my living room makeover. So when you have 8-foot high ceilings and you want to make your walls and your ceiling look as tall as you possibly can, a good tip is to paint your baseboards, your wall, and if you have crown molding, paint your crown molding all the same color. That will make your ceilings and your walls look as tall as they possibly can. And last night when I finished up wallpapering, I noticed because my crown molding and my baseboards on this wall are this stark white, and now it's working against this kind of beigey champagne color, it really shrunk the room and shrunk this wall. So what I'm going to do is paint the baseboard and the crown molding just on this wall, kind of like a tannish color, so that I'm hoping by doing that it expands the look of this wall. And the other reason I'm doing this is so that hopefully at the top, the paint kind of disguises this gap that was created because of my ceiling going up over here. So I think this is going to look really nice. And I am using a can of paint that I've had laying around. I've used this on a ton of previous projects. This is my almost accessible beige. If you're new here, I got a can of paint that was this other beige color. I didn't like it, so I took this can of paint back to Sherwin-Williams and had them remix it to get me as close to accessible beige as possible. So this is a can of paint I call almost accessible beige. But I think it's gonna be that perfect light beige that's just going to tint the baseboard and crown molding so that this wall looks as tall as it possibly can. So I'm gonna get to work. Oh, that looks so good. And done. And that is it, guys. I had to end this video in my studio, sitting at my desk, because I am so obsessed with this new background. This project did exactly what I wanted it to do, which is ignite a love for filming in here again. I think it's been about 6 months since I filmed my last video in here, and that black and white wall was definitely one of the main reasons I haven't filmed a video in here since then. The black and white wall was really fun and funky, and it made this room really cool, but this new backdrop is just pretty. I also think it fits this room more. I think it fits my house. Some of these trees that are on the wallpaper look just like some of the trees that are in my yard. And not only do I use this room as a filming studio, I also use it as a hair and makeup studio. And I just think that this fits a hair and makeup studio vibe so much better. So overall, I'm just so happy that I went with this wallpaper. And dare I say, I think I prefer normal wallpapering over peel and stick. Now, I get the benefits of peel and stick because, you know, you can change your mind, but I thought wallpapering and matching up seams was so much easier. Because you're working with glue, there is time for you to kind of shift the wallpaper. And so I was able to get a very, very seamless look. And I've always had a very hard time getting a seamless look with peel and stick wallpaper. Now, of course, with normal wallpaper, you do have to make sure you're picking a wallpaper you're not going to get sick of, because removing wallpaper can be a big old pain. But I know for a fact I am not gonna get sick of this backdrop, because I have been obsessed with this type of art and illustration my entire life. It's been a very long time since I've been in an art class, but in high school and college when I did take art classes, this is the type of art I would create, this kind of like mixed media, graphite, watercolor art. And it's one of my favorite arts to make, and it's one of my favorite arts to look at. And another like added benefit of this wallpaper that was just kind of a happy accident is that this wall now makes this room feel so much bigger than the black and white wall. Not only because it is lighter, but because there's so much depth to the wallpaper. And painting that trim was definitely the final missing piece. The second I painted the crown molding especially, it really expanded the look of this wallpaper. And I am so excited to film my next video in here. And next week, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a new thing that I am bringing to my channel this year, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. So until then, I hope you guys liked this video and project. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.